I'm here now and I'm staying. Claws out, this the fight that I've been craving. I know there's something inside of me, but it's been masked by fear and anxiety. But no more, I'ma break out of the chains. Let's go! I'm waking up, this ain't enough. All of my dreams were starting to rust, but I believe that I can adjust. Positive thoughts, I'm starting to trust. Nothing's deserved unless you work. Something of worth requires an urge. I have been hurt by those at their worst, but that gave me will, some power, a surge. And they know that I won't surrender, so they fear me as a contender. When I fight, they always remember, yeah. I will be known, I won't let go. I will not stop, I will be great.
Well, welcome into Overtime Arkansas as we bring you scores and highlights from around the state of Arkansas. I'm Brad Caldwell, Duran Miller here. We've got our crew here. Alan Russell's here on the side with us. He's going to come in and talk a little bit about tonight's matchup and just give us some thoughts on the action that we had throughout the state of Arkansas. We are rounding things up. Things are coming into focus as the top two teams in each classification, minus 3A and 4A, are out there now. We know who's going to play in the state finals. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And, man, what a great night it was around the state of Arkansas.
Unbelievable night in the state of Arkansas. I mean, you had big-time games all over, and I can't wait to get into this show here and get some highlights for you out here so we can see. Some of them we haven't even seen ourselves yet, so we're excited about that. But just a great night. People punching their ticket to state and people moving on to the next round. Upsets and just some big-time games, especially in 7A. It was probably where we'll start out.
Oh, man, that was crazy. Let's go to our main scoreboard tonight. And I say our main scoreboard. There's not many scoreboards to be, but the main scoreboard because there's not that many games.
A lot of games left
around the state. But you do see some big-time games. You see EPC at home. They take down Carlisle tonight. That was a toss-up game. We thought that was going to be a good game. I think it turned out to be exactly what we thought. EPC takes down Carlisle. Carlisle made state championship game last year, unable to repeat the feat this year as EPC wins 26-21. Prescott beats Bismarck 42-13. That's a rematch of an earlier game in the year. Prescott still doing their thing. Glen Rose takes down Junction City 50-12.
Boonville getting it done against Harmony Grove, Ouachita County. 44-16 Elkins. This is one of the games I was really excited about. I made that post on ASN today about Mustang Mountain. My prediction, I knew there was going to be a lot of offense, but I did not see the Elkins defense playing that well against CSC at home. They moved the ball. Hurry up, no huddle as good as anybody at home. 53-15. I was thinking 62-35, something like that.
Think about it. Grayson Wilson's a Division I quarterback.
He is.
And look, take nothing away from CAC. I just think Elkins is that good right now.
They are playing great.
They really are. And the top 4 and 4A, and we'll get to that later on in the show, those four teams are very, very good.
Yeah.
And, man, it's going to be a fun semifinal there in next week.
Shiloh Christian was down big to Pine Bluff, and they come all the way back for the win, 49-41. Was that at Pine Bluff?
It was at Pine Bluff, and yeah. So, Shiloh lost to Farmington. They didn't win the 5A West because of that.
Upset.
Camden Fairview goes to Farmington and wins in round 1. Goes to Valley View, was it last week? I believe it was. They win in round 2. They lose tonight at Little Rock, though. Big, and I don't think that's even on there. But Camden Fairview still, I think it was 42-13 was the
And Greenwood, 56-26 over Pulaski Academy. So Pulaski Academy gets knocked out. Greenwood's been number 1 in 6A all year, doing work there.
Nothing changing there.
Little Rock Christian, 42-35 over Benton, and that was another one that we thought was going to come down the wire. Looks like it did.
Right. And then big one right there. Big one right there. You got Fayetteville.
A lot of people didn't think it was, but
so let's clarify something here. We had Fayetteville number 1.
Yes,
in 7A.
Week, or for the last couple of weeks now.
So going into the state playoff, Fayetteville was our number 1 team, the only team that was undefeated in Class 7A. And, there's something to be said about that. We were here tonight with the Bigelow Panthers, the only team in 2A that was undefeated. There's something to be said about those teams and what they can do. They're undefeated for a reason. Fayetteville, best quarterback in the state probably with Drake Lindsay, one of the best players for sure. He's on our top 30 in the D3 Auto Sales MVP list, and he carries his team to a 24-21 victory.
Huge victory. They get a field goal at the end to win the game.
So, well, let's go to our first break, and when we come back, we're going to talk highlights from tonight's action. We had our game of the week here, Bigelow versus Marktree, and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the rest of the scores and highlights from around the state of Arkansas. You're watching Overtime Arkansas right here on the Arkansas Sports Network.
We all love to eat. Whether discussing our daily meals or our special holidays, family gatherings, and even tailgating celebrations, Petrus Farm and Grill, located in Central Arkansas, can help elevate your experiences. Petrus Farm and Grill has over 10 great seasonings and 2 delicious barbecue sauces to choose from. Use our special blends alone or feel free to mix and match to your own delight. Find our sauces and seasonings online at petrusfarmgrill.com. There you can also find one of our great dealers in communities near you.
The Warren Lumberjacks take down the Ozark Hillbillies tonight. These two teams are familiar with each other in playoff play. Actually, I can tell you all the way back in 2001 when Ozark was phenomenal that year.
Yes.
I watched the Warren Lumberjacks come to Ozark, and that was the year that I believe Brett Smith and Terrence Hampton, Rashawn Fellows were like sophomores at the time. Reed McKinney might have been a junior at the time. And that was the start of the Lumberjack tradition, I believe. And, boy, you could see it then. But Warren wins big over Ozark. Warren's had the upper hand in these matchups versus Ozark. Ozark, good team this year. Kobe Wilbanks is the one that has made our top 30 in the D3 Auto Sales MVP list. But, you know, it was just too much to overcome with the Warren Lumberjacks tonight.
Yeah, we kind of thought coming in that that might be a closer game, one of our closer games. But Warren just really – showed out, and you know, I think I put 38-27 when we were talking just amongst friends there, and I thought Ozark might get some things going. Warren has given up some points at times, but tonight they were hitting on all cylinders and just running away from them. As you see that pass right there, I mean, he was behind the defense by 5 yards and really having a great night.
Yeah, the Lumberjacks, you know, they're really, really, you know, what do you say? I mean, what else is there to say about Warren at this point? You know, they're a program that is in it every year, semifinals, finals, you know, winning it all. You know, they're just a great program there with Bo Embry.
Bo Embry just doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Just keeps it rolling.
He does keep it rolling as you're watching here. Warren up 24-7 at this point. They get one out, throw it in for a touchdown.
It looks like they were living behind the secondary all night.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. And that's a tough trip all the way to South Arkansas for Ozark. And, you know, Ozark had a good year. Ozark was a good team this year.
Yeah,
you know,
they really
were. When you think about Ozark's losses, Boonville, Elkins, Warren.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all those teams you just named are still playing.
Still playing. So Ozark had a good year this year. Unfortunately for them, they were unable to come away with a victory. As you see, they're 38-7. I think the final in this one might have been 45-7. And Warren won this one going away. So let's move on. Let me look here. Let's go to Rivercrest. Rivercrest picked up a big victory tonight.
Yes.
I'm not sure that most people thought this was going to happen. Rivercrest goes all the way to Arkadelphia tonight, wins that matchup against Arkadelphia. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't expect this to happen.
Arkadelphia have been really playing very well as of late. And Rivercrest, we know they played Mills early in the year, which Mills was a step-up classification, and their running back got hurt early in the game. Our own Alan Russell was at that game, and Mills got the best of them, but it was a close game, I think 14, without their main guy. And Rivercrest just saying, hey, man, you got to quit putting this looking over us here as they show out.
So Rivercrest was a team that we had number one when they played Mills. Mills has obviously shown that they're one of the top teams, top programs in 5A. They lose to Mills. A lot of things happen. I remember a lot of talk. There was like 55 flags thrown in that ball game, and
Yeah.
you know, Rivercrest, I believe, lost one of their top players in that ball game, and you know they come back and they just start winning, and they just keep winning. And you know, over there in Eastern Arkansas, and I'm talking about extreme northeastern Arkansas, we talk about a lot of these teams, you know, with the Arkadelphians, the Malverns, and the teams of that nature. Rivercrest has the athletes every year, but they somewhat get forgotten up there in northeast
Yeah.
Arkansas just a little bit.
Who was it that we loved a few years
Cam
ago?
Turner.
Cam Turner was a
Yeah.
great one. They went on to the state
His
championship.
brother-
They lost, I believe. But
His brother Kobe
made the final.
is here, and I believe Michael Rainier, is that right? Michael Rainier, he's still on our D3 Auto Sales top 30 list for Rivercrest.
And everybody better look out. We had Rivercrest in the 4A in basketball against Lamar.
Oh, man.
And they were all freshmen,
Yeah,
basically.
Jaden Young over
Jaden
there.
Young, point guard, looking like the
Yeah.
answer.
We're-
And that's a
I'm
really good team.
Looking forward to seeing them for sure. But they're not worried about basketball
No,
right now.
not
They're
yet.
still in it in
Couple
football.
more weeks here.
They took down Arkadelphia tonight, and we can go to the 4A board, Nate, there, if you can. And oh, what happened to our? There we go, Nate. There you go. You did your thing. I see what you did there. It's good. So Harding Academy wins 42-14 over Ashdown. You know, Harding Academy they do what they
We be
do.
rolling.
Right? Rivercrest
All
wins
year.
36-12 at Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia loses 4 games this year, 3 of them to 5A schools, and then finally Rivercrest beats them.
By 24, though. I didn't
Right. You didn't see
that's
that coming.
crazy.
Warren wins 45-7. Elkins beats CAC
At CAC.
53-15, and we've got a big announcement that we want to go ahead and make right now. If you don't know by now, then you will hear in just a moment.
Next week on the Arkansas Sports Network. It's the high-powered Harding Academy Wildcats taking on the domination of the Elkins Elks. It may be our game of the year, folks. You're going to want to tune in.
Well,
All right.
we are fired up. I will tell
Yeah,
you now.
excited.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong when I say this. This is going to end up being maybe the biggest thing that we've ever done on our Arkansas Sports Network, at least for one game.
It has the potential for certain.
As we're going to go to Elkins next week for the Elkins Elks taking on the Harding Academy Wildcats in Elkins. And I don't know. Maybe the other two teams, can say, hey, we've got a stake in this, and I agree with them. But I'm going to tell you right there, that's right now to me. Now I'm not a football coach, but to me, those are the two best teams that are playing right now in 4A.
I mean, it'd be hard to argue that they're not. Warren is, look what they
Right.
did to Ozark. Like I said, I thought that was going to be a little closer, and they took care of business. Who's Warren playing? I'm drawing a
Warren's
blank.
playing Rivercrest.
Yeah,
so
Rivercrest. So
great
yeah,
matchup over there.
That's going to be a fun one. You can't go wrong with any of them, really. But right now, Harding Academy they've from start to finish they've been number one. We had Malvern up there a little bit before they, Malvern took down Harding Academy last year. They came into it, and then we kind of saw after the Walnut Grove game, Western Grove, what was
Walnut
it, in
Grove,
Texas?
yeah.
Out of Prosper, Texas. We kind of seen that they had a little bit of stuff they needed to fix, and ended up catching them in the long run there late in the season. But Harding, really good. Elkins playing as good as anybody right now. And then you got Warren Rivercrest as well. So, honestly, whoever makes it to the Rock, that should be a great game.
Absolutely. 4A is always fun to be
Yeah.
a part of anyway. And so we're excited. We've done semifinals 3 years in a row now, 2A semifinals 3 years in a row. This year we go to the 4A. We go to Elkins and Harding Academy. Can't wait to be there. That's going to be a lot of fun there. And do you have a 4A bracket over there, mister? All right, let's get the 4A bracket up there all these bells and whistles and beautiful stuff. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see their full bracket there. Final four there, Elkins and Harding Academy. On one side, Rivercrest going to host Warren. That's a big deal. The fact that you get a chance as Rivercrest to host that game. And Bill Harshaw is going to be there. He's going to be at our game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be
Our executive producer
Yeah.
coming down. He moved this year. He's always with us before. Now he's doing – and we've kind of also kind of made that position kind of grow. And that's why you're
Right.
seeing more and more graphics, more and more bells and whistles to
Exactly.
our broadcast, and it's been great. But for him to come on site with this is really
Absolutely.
special for us, so we're excited about
It's been
that.
all year. We haven't been with him
Not in
since
football so
since
far.
the 3A tournament.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun there. You can see on the one side, Rivercrest going to host Warren, and then on the other side of it, we got on the Arkansas Sports Network, we've got the Elkins Elks hosting the Harding Academy Wildcats for what is going to be a unbelievable matchup.
Some offense in that game.
Yeah.
But both of those teams can play defense a little bit too, so
Who
it-
knows,
it's gonna
man?
Be fun.
I mean, there's just Owen Miller. You've
Sean
got Dizzy
Chairs,
Dean, Deshaun Chairs.
His
I mean,
brother, Dean's.
there's
little
players
H-back.
all over the field. It's going to be a great time, and you want to see it from different angles. We're going to have different angles next week. It's going to be a lot of fun there at Elkins. So, anyway, let's go ahead and go to the next highlights. We've got Shiloh Christian. They are at Pine Bluff, I guess they're probably still there or on their way back now to Northwest Arkansas. Now, this game right here, Duran, Shiloh started off terrible.
Yeah.
And, it
Bluff
looked
had
like,
usually-
sometimes every great once in a while, Shiloh will play somebody and they'll get overwhelmed athletically and they just can't beat them. But it doesn't happen very often, but you felt like this might be it. Pine Bluff, they just have, D1 athletes over there.
Charlie Collins and
Yeah, Crutchfield.
Crutchfield
You got
and-
Crutchfield. You got Dindy. Those guys over there, and I mean they've got other guys as well.
Yeah,
I
I
mean
was
they're
thinking of Mills for some reason.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
You-
Dindy and right. I'm
Right.
thinking about another game
Right.
earlier this year, but yeah, Dindy and Crutchfield. Of course we did them in basketball as well last year or a couple years ago.
Right.
Man, they're just unbelievable athletes, and they've been in every big game that you thought, oh, Pine Bluff's going to lose this one. They'd either win
That's
or
it.
they barely lose it. 10-2 on the year, and had a huge lead in this game. And Shiloh, though, just hard to put away. Shiloh comes roaring back for the win here as you see these highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Shiloh ends up winning the ball game. What was that? 49-41. Is that what we had them down
I
for?
think
Is
that's
that right?
correct.
So the Shiloh Christian Saints move on. They got a rematch of the state championship game as they will play against the Parkview Patriots. Parkview Patriots moved on. They won tonight 42-13 over Camden Fairview. Camden Fairview is a team that probably plays Parkview better than anybody. While Shiloh they beat Pine Bluff tonight, I feel like that Parkview is just a whole different animal, man.
Parkview is unreal. We've had them multiple times, multiple years. This year, I think we've only done one so far, but Parkview, I mean, they make teams that are good look bad, and
Yes.
that's going to be a tough one.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Greenwood. Speaking of different animal, the Greenwood Bulldogs are a different breed here, folks, as they are just unbelievable.
Doesn't seem like it was that long ago these teams were meeting up in 5A,
Right.
and
right.
now Greenwood just keeps the ship rolling. Of course, PA does as well, but Greenwood's bigger, and
Right.
well, they're both 6A, but Greenwood just really, really got it going on down there. And
Now,
just
while Pulaski Academy finally, in the semifinals again, I feel like that they did take a step back this year.
is this Alabama or Greenwood?
Right.
What's going on here?
Listen, man.
They got all the bells and whistles. They got a great stream as well down there.
Right. So yeah, it's really, really good over there at Greenwood. They move on for another state championship matchup as they will take on the Little Rock Christian Warriors, who
Yeah.
beat Benton tonight.
Yeah, a big game.
And let's go ahead and go to 6A.
Benton was one of those teams that was kind of playing as good as
Right.
anybody in the last 6-7 weeks.
That's it.
And they go down Little Rock Christian, so that's going to be a great one.
So let's go to the 6A board here.
That pick six as we were going out there. It was
Right.
nice.
And you can see there 56-26 Greenwood over Pulaski Academy. That's the second time this year that they've beaten them close to 30 points. I think the other one was 58-33. Little Rock Christian beats Benton. As you said, Benton had been playing as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and go to the 6A bracket if we can real quick.
It's going to end the run for Braylon Russell.
Yeah, Braylon
At
Russell.
Benton, his high school football
And-
career will be over.
And you got to wonder, is he coming to Arkansas? There's a lot of things going on right now, with Arkansas. But
we were there when he committed.
that's right, we were there. Bill,
Hey, he didn't say nothing.
no,
did
he has not, and
Right.
I'm just asking. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sure
I
not.
know what you're doing.
No, I
You're-
swear.
No, you're putting a little
No.
jab at the situation in
I
Arkansas
don't.
right now.
I
I'm
don't
playing.
want him. I want him to go to Arkansas.
I know you do. I know
But
you're a huge
but
Hog
I
fan.
will say, I just,
Just like me.
you have to wonder. I mean, in fact, I'm surprised that Courtney Crutchfield didn't commit to Missouri today. I mean, the things are it's just rough right now. I mean, it just is. Little Rock Christian and Greenwood are playing each other for the state championship. Two conference foes there, as they've matched up one other time. Greenwood won that one. And Greenwood looks unstoppable right now. Let's just be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
it would
they're
be a
playing so
surprise. It would be a surprise if the Greenwood Bulldogs didn't win the state championship. I mean, it would.
They are unbelievable right now. What they did to PA tonight for the second time this season is statement enough, if you ask me. But
Absolutely.
they've been doing it every week. They're one of those teams that really can compete overall. When you talk overall teams in a state,
Right.
obviously you got to talk Fayetteville and Bentonville now, and you got to throw Parkview and Greenwood right there with them.
Yep.
In my opinion,
Yep. So let's move on. Next highlights we have is the Salem highlights. Talk about a surprise here in the
Yes.
3A. Salem, Hoxie, those two teams were our 3 and 4 basically all year long.
Yeah, we're unbelievable. too.
Mansfield goes to Hoxie last week, and they
That
beat
was a
them.
big upset. We had Hoxie on our broadcast against Walnut Ridge. It was for a conference championship
Yes.
about 3 weeks ago. Hoxie was really impressive that night. And then we've done Mansfield against Charleston. Was
Yep.
it Charleston or Boonville? It was Charleston.
That
I
was
wasn't there
against
that night.
Mansfield against Boonville.
Yeah, Boonville. And that was, Boonville ended up winning. Of course, Boonville's been great all year. But, I mean, really, I feel like those are upsets the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Of course, people in Mansfield don't think so. The Tigers just really back-to-back weeks playing as good as they can, knocking off Salem. Took out the Greyhounds this week, and they took out Hoxie last week. And you got to give a lot of credit to that program. They're moving on. Big-time game right
Long
here.
trips for both. Think about where Mansfield is. I mean, Mansfield's
Right.
basically in Oklahoma. and now you've had two
And they're in
trips
Tennessee today.
to
Almost
East. Well, Missouri
Missouri-ish,
won,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you've had two trips across the state of Arkansas. They've kept their composure and they've won, and now they're moving on into the semifinals. Tell them what they won, folks. They get a chance at the Prescott Curly Wolves.
Yeah, and that's it's not a good that's not
got-
a good gift, but
Right.
at least you're still playing. Prescott's
So,
really played good this year.
I'm going to skip one here. We'll come back to them real quick. We're going to go to Boonville. Let's go to the Boonville highlights. Boonville Bearcats, they're back in the semifinals. Not surprising there, as watching these Bearcats play, you feel like they're on a mission this year after losing in the state finals last year to Charleston. That stung. That stung bad. And so now they're getting an opportunity to try to redeem themselves in some way. Dax Goff, MVP candidate. I mean, a big-time player there. He won our baseball MVP as a junior last year, hitting like
Look at him.
600. And then now you get him on the football field. He's actually a Harding commit in football. He's unreal. He's a phenomenal player there. He runs very violently. We watched that happen out here. But really, Dax is probably even another level to that.
He's looking faster as of late too than I've seen. I know he's a big, tough runner.
Yeah.
Runs of a lot of aggression, and but he's got a little bit of everything. He's kind of a 5-tool dude on the football field as well.
He's really unbelievable, and I hear he's going to play basketball, but apparently he's not ready to put on the gym shorts just yet.
No.
As his Bearcats are going to the state semifinals, they go down to Harmony Grove, the Ouachita County variety of Harmony Grove. Harmony Grove was a team that played very well this year, been a very good team.
Big win last
You
week.
thought maybe this one might be a little bit tighter, but boy, Boonville just went down there and just imposed their will.
Yeah, big-time score to move on here. And you see turnovers that you can't do that against Boonville. That offense is so tough to stop already.
And so let's go to the 3A board real quick. As you can see, Mansfield pulls the upset at Salem 26-22. Prescott beats Bismarck. Bismarck had a good year this year, made it further in the playoffs than they've ever made it.
Really
40
enjoyed our game down
Yeah,
there this year.
absolutely.
Really great atmosphere.
And then that place that we ate at, too,
Oh,
right?
what was it? It was like the pizza. It was like the pizza den and catfish house,
Yeah,
seafood
that's
or
it.
something like that. And it was unbelievable.
really good.
Probably the best catfish I've ever had, honestly.
Right?
And I've eaten a
Fresh.
lot of
I mean,
catfish.
it was literally like they just fished it out of the lake and came and cooked it. It was really good.
I think it was Atlantic cod. It was so fresh. Anyways, keep going.
Boonville wins 44-16 over Harmony Grove of Ouachita County. And I love how people have taken our lead from that, by the way, just saying.
Yeah.
Not just saying, but I'm just saying. And then the Glen Rose, we keep talking about Glen Rose, 50-12 over Junction City. Boonville is
Heath
Glen
Balance.
Rose, folks.
Dude, we were talking about that at that
Right.
Bismarck game when Glen Rose really showed out, and I was like, man, I'd love to see them play Boonville later in the year, and we're going to get that wish.
Well, let's go to the 3A bracket if we can. And look at that beautiful bracket there. You got a Final Four here in 3A. You got Mansfield and Prescott. You've got Boonville and Glen Rose. Boonville hosting Glen Rose. Mansfield will travel to Prescott for that ball game. Prescott's been our number one. Boonville's been our number two. Those two have been almost interchangeable, I believe, with us. And Glen Rose, like we said, we were very, very impressed with Heath Balance. You got Dax Goff.
Yeah.
You got Heath Balance. Those guys are right there when it comes to our MVP list. And, I feel like people feel like they're slighted. I feel like that's almost like it's like a compliment in some ways, Duran.
Right.
The fact that people do feel slighted that they're not on our list. But you can't have everybody. I mean, there's 30 spots right now in the semifinals. We're going to cut that down to about 10 this weekend. Not everybody can make it, but you know what? There's 190 teams that play football. You can't have one from every team.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of that, Glen Rose has a receiver. I can't remember his name. Remember, he was real tall,
Yeah.
about 6'3", played corner as well. That was an unbelievable playmaker for him. So it's not just balance. They got a good quarterback.
It's going to be a great matchup.
That's going to be a great one.
Great matchup there. And then, man, I'll tell you, if we weren't at Elkins and
that'd be a
Harding
place to
Academy,
go.
absolutely.
That'd be one of them. There's so many good ones, though.
Of course, Boonville's got a stream as well, and so they've got their own thing. But Boonville has always been great to us and welcoming and open arms. So we appreciate them. So let's go.
Beavers and Bearcats is going to be a good one.
Let's go to Fayetteville. Let's do our Fayetteville highlights here. Fayetteville Bulldogs pull. Is it a shocker? Is that a shocker? I'm not sure. Conway,
Ties it up right there on the highlight.
right? We know that Conway.
Buck
We
James.
thought Buck James. Buck James is probably the best coach going right now. He leaves.
Hard to argue that.
Right?
Right.
He goes to Bryant and wins state championship after state championship, and then he goes to Conway. And we're thinking, well, Conway, they played pretty good last year, and Buck James is going to win it again, but just this year a little bit short. I have heard the Fayetteville Bulldogs this year, Purple Dogs, the best team that they've ever had since 1953 at least. Which,
Wow.
yeah, I mean that
Talking
was
about some
right.
really good teams that have won state championships.
Oh, absolutely.
Brandon Allen, Austin
yeah.
Allen days.
Yeah. Oh, Zach Clark days
Yeah,
and
Zach
Cody
Clark.
Clark and all those guys. I mean, they were phenomenal. They've been to have several good teams throughout. Well, anyway, they go on to win and move on to state finals. We're going to have an all-West state finals for the first time since, I think, 2006.
That used to be almost the norm there for a few years, and Central's done a much better job, and now, though, returning, like you said.
It was like 13 years in a row, and then Central took over, basically won almost every state championship since then, and, well, it looks like it's shifted. And, the thing is with Fayetteville's the only school that hasn't split up there. And I
Right.
know that plays into how they feel about, winning and, just being the one school that they're trying to keep that, because you remember when Springdale, they split,
yeah.
it changed everything
Oh, it
there
changed
for Springdale.
everything. Yeah, I mean, and they're right there a stone's throw from the Razorback campus, and
Yep.
they're basically on the campus, really. I mean, across the street, and just a unbelievable program. Casey Dick has it going.
So let's go to Bentonville real quick.
There we go.
Back to Bentonville. Bentonville, this is another shocker, and Bryant is. You think, well,
What, 5 in a row before this?
five state championships in a row. Bryant loses to Parkview this year, which
Right.
says a lot about Parkview and how good they are. But Bentonville goes to Bryant and wins that ball game. I believe it was a rematch of the state championship game from last year. And Bentonville finally breaks through. Bryant, for the first time in 6 years, does not win a state championship in football.
Yeah, and this was the first year in that span as well. They hadn't lost to a team in the state of Arkansas. This year, they ended up losing to Parkview and tonight to Bentonville.
That's right. So Fayetteville, Bentonville, I think Fayetteville handled Bentonville pretty easily in the regular season, but this ain't the regular season.
Right.
This is the playoffs. So
That's why I played a game.
that's right. Show us the 7A board. Show us the 7A bracket real quick. As you can see, 2 games on the board there. Fayetteville 24-21 over Conway. Excuse me, Bentonville, the 3 seed out of the West, comes and beats Bryant by 17 at home.
It's impressive, very, very impressive at Bryant. I mean, wow.
Yep. And let's go to the 7A bracket real quick. You can see there Fayetteville wins. They go to the finals, go to War Memorial Stadium where they'll take on the Bentonville Tigers. So, tell you what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got highlights of our game of the week. The Bigelow Panthers, as they move on to the state finals with a victory tonight over the Mark Tree Indians. We're going to bring in Alan Russell. He's going to talk a little bit about what happened tonight and his thoughts for around the state of Arkansas. We'll be back here in just a moment.
There comes a time in all of our lives when we need the help of legal services. Well, let Leah Jacobs at Heirloom Legal at 425 North Church Street in Atkins be your go-to when you are needing assistance. If you're needing a will or a trust, maybe you're helping an elder parent with Medicaid issues, or planning on opening a brand new business, maybe you have another legal need. Jacobs can help you plan your next step. That's Heirloom Legal, helping families build and protect their legacy through estate, elder, and business planning. Call 501-819-2553, and walk-ins are welcome.
Look at that. That's awesome right there. So let's go to our Bigelow highlights real quick. As
Too tall is on a stool, if none of y'all knew.
well, right,
He's almost as tall as Brad on a stool.
right.
Brad's a good 5'10" and a half, 5'11", and
This dude,
Too tall is about 6'6",
he's-
6'7".
He stands out. It's just too much. It's too much. So anyway, let's bring Bigelow in here.
He's also got those Fabio locks of love as well.
Right.
It gives him another inch or
It's
two.
like, he's like a complete opposite of me, right? I mean, I'm short and bald, and he's tall and got long hair. And anyway,
Oh, you need to bring up the lanky and the. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
well, I mean that's in there too. And anyway, here you go. You see the Mark Tree Indians. These are your Mark Tree Indians. I know that you're a little bit sad about it, but Mark Tree had a great showing this year. First time ever in state semifinals. But really, what it boiled down to tonight, in my opinion, they ran into a better football team.
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. Just Bigelow more physical and just prepared, really, for
Yes.
this football game.
So let's talk a little bit about Bigelow. Bigelow has been, I think we had them 7th, throughout the year. But let's talk about why. So a lot of, when we do rankings, we're dependent on teams losing in front. They move every once in a while. We'll see a team that's just overperforming. We'll say, we just need to jump them up there. But
Right.
all these teams, we haven't gotten a ton of stuff from Bigelow as far as what they did, what they haven't done.
One thing that happened as well in 2A was every time a team in front of Bigelow, once they got up to around 8-7, every time a team lost, it was always to a team that was in front of them as well,
Right.
like an EPC in Mark Tree
Right.
or EPC in Desart, things like that. So that kind of made it also tricky,
They have a defense that rivals Carlisle. I thought Carlisle had the
Yeah.
best defense that I had seen, but Bigelow definitely has a defense, but offense to go along with it.
Well, and here you go. You see
Complete team.
It was 29-8, but Mark Tree finally got the offense going there in the third quarter. It took a while to get it going for them, but they did. But man, again, here you go. Bigelow answers on this drive here after Mark Tree goes down and scores. Mark Tree threatened to get back in the game, but it was Carter Alexander, Newmeyer. I mean, these guys were making plays. And I'll tell you right now, Bigelow's got tons of kids that can make plays.
Right.
I mean, it ain't just one. They really have a bunch of kids that are high in the stat book.
Yeah, I mean, we miss them sometimes, Brad. I mean, that happens, and I feel like we missed on Bigelow, and and that's
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit that.
And I will say, there's times where we go to places where we kind of have an idea of what we kind of think they're going to look like a little
Right.
bit, and sometimes you just get pleasantly surprised. And that really happened with Glenrose. We knew Glenrose was a great program, we're good, and we knew Bismarck was having an up and coming season.
Yeah.
Their coaches got them rolling now, and that was the feeling we had that night when
Right.
we left Glenrose. We were like, wow, that team is going to
good.
go a long ways, because that
Right.
was a good Bismarck team. And tonight we had that same feeling when we got here at Bigelow.
They've got a great defense.
Yeah,
they,
great
they stifled
defense.
Mark Tree for the most part, really.
Great defense, and when they have so many weapons, and then
Right.
they spread you out with 5 wide, empty, like you see right here, and then they'll come back and run Wildcat down your throat, and
Right.
then they'll throw out of it, and I mean it was just really fun to see. And there it is
There's a
right there,
touchdown,
the
yeah.
Wildcat out of that. He was just wide open. I mean,
Right.
what are you going to do? You got you're
Well,
selling
just-
out to stop the run.
Right, Mark Tree was all in the box, and yeah, it was a great play call there.
Absolutely. And so, well, Alan, while we got you on here, let's just get some thoughts from you, not just for tonight's ball game, but from around the state of Arkansas.
Well, Mansfield goes over to Salem, takes them down. To me, that's got to be shocker of the night. I mean, because really, Bigelow and EPC, and Bigelow not really, but EPC was one of the favorites to win this thing, really. But now Bigelow is said, hey, look at us,
Yeah, right.
You guys missed on us, and Brad, I tell you, they got the defense to go get it done over at Little Rock, man.
They do. They really are complete.
Hats off to Northeast Arkansas's Rivercrest. They went on the road and took
Yeah.
down Arkadelphia tonight, man. That
That's
was
a huge
big.
one.
And
And it wasn't close either.
right. So we had some shockers tonight, like you guys was talking about in the 7A. Just there was some shock, and that's going to happen this time of year. It's going to
Right.
happen, man.
Well,
I mean,
you
Mansfield,
always
none of them.
you always think that you can draw the bracket out,
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily happen that way.
It's like March Madness.
Right.
You never get them all.
Exactly.
And so,
There
And
was
this
this one year. There was this woman that won that
Did she?
picked them all off of just
wow.
colors. Like she picked the Maryland
That's
Terrapins because she
impressive.
liked the mascot.
Right.
The turtles. She thought they were cute.
Right.
So she picked them over Duke, and I'm just playing. That's a Saturday Night Live skit with Peyton Manning. And anyways, but yeah, I mean,
And
like,
we go in
like,
there for a second, I was like, whoa,
Right,
she did it
like-
off colors.
like you
That's
said
pretty
though.
impressive.
I mean, you there's always going to be some upsets in there. You can't predict them all, and that's why you
No.
got to play the game.
Absolutely. That's why you kick it off and you play the game to see who's better.
Well, let's go to the 2A scoreboard real quick.
That was an impressive play right there from
Absolutely.
Hodges.
And you can see Bigelow beats Mark Tree tonight 36-20. And then EPC wins at home over Carlisle 26-21. Both were really good games tonight. EPC Carlisle, you knew that was going to be a battle, and it was. And EPC comes away. They keep Carlisle from making back-to-back trips to the state finals. Carlisle was a team that ended up being our number one team going into the playoffs. I'm not ashamed of that. I felt like they played very well. EPC ended up being number 2. Bigelow, we had down a little bit lower. I think they ended up at 5 coming in. We missed that, just did. But you know what? Bigelow got a real good chance of winning their first ever state championship.
EPC finally got that Carlisle monkey off their back. They never could do that, and they finally slayed that dragon, I guess you'd say.
Well, let's go to the 2A bracket real quick. And here you go. You see 2A bracket. You got EPC Bigelow. And, those two teams really lasted. And, I felt like it was a very even 2A for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. 2A's been really just so much fun this year. Last week, Carlisle and Hector. Hector takes down Mineral Springs, who was number 1 almost all year. Murfreesboro took them down a couple weeks ago. Hector was right in that game with Carlisle to the very end at Carlisle.
Yeah.
Carlisle pulled out all the stops. They had fireworks, bump and jumps, food trucks. Everybody in that county was there.
They were there.
And, just 2A's just such a fun conference this year. It was so wide open for everybody. And we got these 4 moving on.
Yep.
Yes,
These two.
These two.
And they'll
Bigelow
play
and
Friday, and I feel like Bill already put in the time. I forget what time he did say. You got the time there, Bill, for that game? Anyway, he's typed noon.
I was going to be noon, okay.
Noon on Friday. So, anyway. All right, I think we have we got all our highlights in? Bentonville? We did Bentonville, yeah. Okay, so what we haven't done the 5A board. Let's do the 5A bracket, and not the board, but the bracket. And I believe the 6A bracket, and that's it.
5A.
Well, we may not. We did the 7A
It's going to be
bracket. So Parkview Shiloh here, rematch of the state finals. I do believe that Shiloh has won enough now. They have to move to 6A.
yes, sir.
Pulaski Academy moving to 7A. Harding Academy moving to 5A.
They'll all continue to win.
Yeah, and they're just stunned. Yep, they're really good. Parkview probably still the odds-on favorite there. Parkview, what they won now? 27 in a row, something like
Them
that.
Rowland brothers, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. You got Brad and Bobby, and Bobby has just been wildly successful. Brad had bowed out in the state semifinals many years. Bobby gets together with him, and then boom! I'm telling you, it's like unstoppable force now.
I'll tell you what happened.
My coach over at Martree.
Yeah.
You seen great things coming from him up ahead.
When Bobby got there, the rest of the 5A said, "Dang it, Bobby." I had to. Sorry.
Let's go to the 6A bracket. I think we got everything covered.
Exactly how it went down.
Right. 6A bracket, Little Rock Christian and Greenwood. That's going to be a fun one there. And I believe that's the Friday night. That's the nightcap on the 6A on Friday night. Saturday will be 5A or 7A, 5A. I believe 7A plays at noon. 5A plays at 6. I'm not mistaken.
All those state championship games will be on PBS.
That's right.
Presented by the AAA.
That's right. And let's go back to our announcement. Oh, go ahead.
Now, so Little Rock Christian gets another shot at Greenwood.
Yeah.
That may be all they need here in this one.
Let's go back to the announcement one more time.
Next week on the Arkansas Sports Network. It's the high-powered Harding Academy Wildcats taking on the domination of the Elkins Elks. It may be our game of the year, folks. You're going to want to tune in.
Well, we're back here, and I think that's going to be enough to wrap us up tonight. It's been a great night. I think, I don't know, this may be our last one of the year. So we do appreciate you. You've watched throughout. We thank you for that. And, man, we're glad to have been a part of what you do on Friday nights. And we're excited to be at Elkins next week. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at that broadcast. That's going to be a fun one. We will hold no stops out. We will throw everything that we can at it.
Yep.
And you will see some things from us that you probably haven't gotten a chance to see yet. So
River Valley boys will be going up.
that's
West
right.
Arkansas.
River Valley later. Here we go. Anyway, well, guys, right here, the man,
Too tall.
the myth, the legend, sitting down on a stool because he's way too tall for me. You got Duran Miller out here doing his thing. Nate doing his deal over here. He's shaking hands. Aaron waving over there. We got Aaron's brother Matt.
We'd put Nate on camera, but he's got a Lamar Warrior shirt on. So
right,
Can
we appreciate. Come on, Aaron, get in here.
get in here, Aaron.
come on in, man.
It's our sideline cam tonight. Did a
And
great
producer
job.
extraordinaire.
We
and
finally got the fire pits up there for us. It took
Yeah.
about 3/4, but we got them.
There's a guy in the way. His big head was right in the middle of the shot, and I was
No
trying to run around
comment.
him.
No comment.
Anyway,
And then
we're,
your brother, you got Matt. You already said that.
we're going to
so.
get out of here from Bigelow, though.
Hats off to Bigelow, and Marsh will be back next year.
That's right. Mark Tree may be our
yeah.
preseason number one. You never know. Anyway, we'll see you next week at Elkins. We're fired up, ready to go. And it's been a fun time here from Bigelow. Congratulations to the Bigelow Panthers. Congratulations to every team that punched their ticket for the state championship for next week. And the teams that lost, hey, you had a great season as well.
Yes, sir.
We're out.
We all love to eat. Whether discussing our daily meals or our special holidays, family gatherings, and even tailgating celebrations, Petrus Farm and Grill, located in Central Arkansas, can help elevate your experiences. Petrus Farm and Grill has over 10 great seasonings and 2 delicious barbecue sauces to choose from. Use our special blends alone or feel free to mix and match to your own delight. Find our sauces and seasonings online at petrusfarmgrill.com. There you can also find one of our great dealers in communities near you.